Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Tonya. I am the host of the Mucho Dinero TV show. I'm so excited because we have an awesome guest on here. This is her second time coming on, and when it was an opportunity for us to really go ahead and make this happen, I said, "Oh yes, let's definitely make this happen." I once again, I'm just so excited about you being here today, Stephanie. And before I introduce Stephanie and she talks a little bit more about herself, I want you to know that on the Mucho Dinero show, we educate, we empower, and we promote on purpose. That's why we're here. And if you know of anybody that's probably 35 years old or older, and she's a female, or even males that are married or in a relationship with women, you all need to like grab your friends and tell them to come on and listen to the show. I'm not sure who's listening right now, but I want to say good morning from Las Vegas. Really good afternoon from Las Vegas. And don't be stingy. Go get your friends, bring them on in here so that you can ask questions. And if you have any questions, put a Q in front of whatever you have in the comment, and then I'll share those questions with Stephanie later on if she can answer me now if she can. But Stephanie, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Mucho Dinero TV show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm excited to have this opportunity to speak to you and your audience again.
Wow. So Stephanie, if you don't mind, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, professionally, I spent 20 years in corporate America, 10 years running a nonprofit, and then I got sick. So I was sick for over 2 years, 18 different doctors, two world-renowned medical facilities, $20,000 out of pocket. And during that crash and that downtime, I'm like, hey, as I started to feel better, I'm like, there has to be more people out there that may have gone through something like this. So what I did while I was down is I went back and got 2 certifications in nutrition coaching. So my
Okay.
goal is to educate women on how to handle the menopause drug free. And I
Oh,
do
I
that.
love it.
Yes, drug free, and I've been able to do it. Thank goodness for that. I educate them via a podcast, via online course, and I also do one-on-one work with women.
Awesome. And anybody that's suffering from hot flashes, or know someone that is suffering from a hot flash, Stephanie has agreed to graciously give every one of us a free consult. So scrolling at the bottom of the screen, that's how you can contact Stephanie, person to person, so you can set up to go ahead and be seen by her. And on the Mucho Dinero show, we educate, we empower, we promote. So I am 53 years old. I'll be 54 in November, and I'm going to be honest with you, Stephanie. I thought the hot flashes went away. I mean,
Girl,
does this?
no.
They don't. I was like, okay. Once I get 45, once I get 50, I've transitioned over. I've gone through menopause.
Right.
But you said no.
Well, so I'll put it this way, they can go away. So when I have a hot flash, I immediately know why. So tropical fruit like pineapples and mangoes, they actually trigger hot flashes for me. I think
Oh,
it's because it's so high in sugar content. So in all honesty, if I don't eat those things, I don't have hot flashes. But if I'm eating those tropical fruits, or let's say I'm out to dinner and I want to get a real rich chocolate dessert or something, I have a hot flash. So I think once you start to, our estrogen levels have lowered as we age. And once we can figure out how we start to eat better, so our estrogen levels stay more steady, we can actually curb that those hot flashes. So eliminating so much dairy, eliminating some meat, eliminating processed foods and sugars will help you eliminate your hot flashes. I'm a firm believer that you can get rid of them.
well, here's the thing. I've been drinking this. I call it a detox concoction. It's
Uh-huh.
fresh pineapples, cucumbers, and lemon, and then that ACV,
Yeah.
and with a lot of water. Right. I've been drinking
Mhm,
that lately, so
mhm.
I don't know. I was just so upset when I was like, come on, I'm gonna have to go with the so I need to probably do a consult with you
All
so
right.
that Oh, somebody just said such great information. There's hope. Yes,
Yes,
there is
there is
hope.
hope. There is hope. You do you being aware of what you're eating and tracking your food and then making those minor adjustments, because I would have never associated pineapples with my hot flashes. And I'm like, this is weird. And I just started tracking and I'm like, okay. And everyone's body and everyone's gut is so different. You have to become aware of yourself, but I think you can stop them.
Well, I'm going to do the consult this time. I said I was going to do it the last time, but this time for sure I'm going to do it. And I didn't want to be stingy. I didn't want to like only talk to you and not share you out, to the
Thank
masses. So I'm encouraging everybody to go ahead, get that information, go ahead and book the schedule while you can. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Is that okay with you,
Yes,
Stephanie?
ma'am. All
All
right.
right. So the first question is, why the name Hello Hot Flash? Why not Goodbye Hot Flash?
So I did that on purpose. I think part of what some women experience when they become perimenopausal or postmenopausal is a depression or a sadness, or they assume that life is over for them. And I'm more like, snap your head, hello, hot flash, bring it on. Because it can be such a wonderful time of life. You think about the wisdom you have now, the wisdom you have to have different conversations, and the way you talk to people differently, the freedom you have in your life that you didn't have maybe when you had small kids and so forth. So I think it's an opportunity for us to embrace this period of time. It's about what we decide to do with it that makes it quote unquote, or can make it quote unquote negative.
And
So
you know what? I agree with you on that. I finally got like some like gray hair in the front of my head. You can't see because I got this
finally,
hat on. Finally got. It's taken me a long time to get gray. Finally got some gray hair. My husband said, "Are you going to dye it?" I said, "I don't know. Let's see. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do." But here's the thing: I had my first child when I was 20, I think 2021. So my three children are three adult children, and I remember when we dropped off my youngest son to college, I was like, "Whoopee! I'm a teenager again." So I've been a teenager ever since my son was 19 years old in my mind, you know. So
But
I absolutely love, my life, and I embrace I love the fact that I'm getting gray hair. I love the fact that I have grandchildren. So I don't have that hang up when it comes down to like being depressed. And I've had my children, so it's okay for me to go through menopause and be going through these different things. And I believe I agree with you on that, Stephanie. It's really what your mindset is.
yes,
It has a lot to do with mindset.
yeah, you are on, Dr. Tanya, you are on the right path. I'm telling you, because a lot of times I'll talk to women, they're like, woe is me, life is over, I cannot, and so forth. But you have the perspective right, that if we think positively about this new phase in life, that helps with the hot flashes, that helps with the sleep, that helps with the stress and so forth, to change our mindset. So yeah, I embrace it by saying, hello, hot flash.
That's right. Oh, hot flash. I need to start saying that because it'll be freezing somewhere, right? And we'll be in the cold, and my husband will look at me. He
Uh-huh.
said, "Sweat is dropping down your face. I see the sweat coming down your cheeks." I said, "Brian, I just feel like I just have fire on the inside of my body." And then he'll give me a napkin or a handkerchief or something. I'll just dab my face, and then all of a sudden it just goes away, and then I'm back to normal.
Yeah.
It is just so it doesn't last forever, but it does last. But it does happen. I'm
If
not going to sit up here and lie. It
Yeah,
does.
if I on occasion do get one, I automatically say, "Ooh, I bet I'm sweating a pound off. I'm sweating a pound off."
Yep. That's a good one. That's a good one. So if you're just tuning in, my name is Dr. Tonya. This is Miss Stephanie Shaw. And you have a podcast. Can you tell us a little bit more about your podcast?
Sure. On the podcast, it airs weekly every Thursday at 5 a.m. And it's on all networks, Apple, Spotify, Google, and so forth. But my goal is for women who are in the menopausal stage to come and become more educated on what they can do without drugs to help cure or heal their body during this menopausal state. So I interview naturopaths, functional medicine doctors, OBGYNs come on the podcast, anyone that has that special niche and has worked closely with menopausal women, I bring them on for conversations and hopefully an opportunity so folks can become more educated about their bodies.
And that's so
I was
important.
so ignorant to my body. Like now when I look at it, I'm like, how in the world did I not know? Because even when I first started going through menopause, I didn't know I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have hot flashes at first, but all of those other rapid heartbeat, twitching eyes, cold hands and feet, um, things like the balding of the hair, like spots, I had those as well. A lot of people don't recognize those are your hormones starting to change. And that's when you need to start paying attention to your diet, to how you exercise, and having a conversation with your gynecologist.
So I guess that is a good time though. That's when you would say, that's a good time to like really go see a doctor,
Mm,
is when you're going through some of those symptoms. Okay. Do
yes.
you remember how old you were when you first started?
So I don't, but I'm going to say, how old was I in 2017? I was 48. So I'm going to say like early 40s.
Okay.
Early 40s is when all the, but it was a drip. It was a drip. You know what I mean? And then when in 2017 came, every, I've actually read over menopausal symptoms. I'm like, I had like 90% of those. Like everything hit me so hard that it actually caused me to stay in the house for almost 2 years. Like I went to work and I went to church, but that was pretty much it. I got really, really sick during that time. So, but it was because I didn't understand or know the cues so I could start making changes. And I will tell you, you did say, is that a time that we should start going to the doctor? That depends on who your doctor is. You want to make sure that you're working with a doctor who also is not just going to automatically prescribe you something. If you need a prescription, by all means, but try the lifestyle changes first. That will be the most impactful. I think we lost Dr. Tonya. I'm going to just pause here and wait for her to come back on. Okay, you guys, I might have to sign out in order for her to sign back in. So I will do that. And I believe we'll be back in a few minutes. All right. Thank you. If you can hear me, Dr. Tanya, it's still like cutting in a little bit, cutting in and out for you.
I can hear you. I think it's on my end. It's okay. We are live. We are live.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're live. Okay, so someone left a comment that said definitely it's great that women can come together and talk about these issues.
Yeah. I Yes, I totally agree with that. And I think that's part of also what we need when we're going through menopause. Like we need someone else who is going through the same thing. So good, bad, or indifferent. My girlfriend and I, had hysterectomies at the same time. Not at the same exact time, but within
Mhm.
a time frame where we could have that conversation with each other. And then I had another friend who went through everything right before me. So having that community coming together without judgment, you are so right. I agree with that.
Yeah, me too. And what's a really good thing about it is that we do not have to do anything alone. We don't have to,
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Yes. Yes, I agree with that as well.
On things together, definitely. I don't know what's going on with the internet. My
I
husband's in the
know.
background trying to help me. God bless him.
Oh,
It's
God.
okay, Brian, because I have my I went ahead and I put on my hotspot.
Okay.
Yeah, I put on the hotspot, so you probably hear my husband whispering in the background, but that's okay. That's life.
Ooh,
This is live.
this is
Technology
live.
happens,
Yes,
and we are we're gonna go forward.
I agree.
So someone else said lifestyle changes before doctor's appointment. I agree. Okay, lifestyle changes. All right, that's a great idea. That we actually
Mhm.
that when we get older and we know we're going through it. You said earlier that we should look at our diet. We should look at exercise, and then because you're an expert, it's okay to go ahead and book that free consult so that you'd be able to tell us when is a good time for us to go ahead and actually see a doctor.
Yeah,
And I believe in the natural way. I think that I believe in modern medicine also, but I do also believe in the natural way because I believe that it'd be better for us in the long term.
I totally agree with that. Now, again, there's some folks that there's situations where they do end up taking some type of medication, but before you start, again, just if you can work on lifestyle changes, and it's not just it is food and diet, but also think about the stress that may be in your life, and then there's endocrine disruptors as well. So, the plastics and the makeup and things that we put in our
Oh,
hair and on our body, all of those endocrine disruptors actually impact our hormones. So we need to think about our entire life and making easy, adjustable changes, but making changes that can help us avoid getting on any type of long-term medication if possible.
and what I like to do is go a little bit deeper in your story. So,
Mhm.
could you tell us a little bit about the 2 year illness and what did a typical day look like for you during that 2 year illness that you went through?
Sure. So, as I said, the day that it happened was March 23rd, 2017. I was in New Orleans. I don't party or anything, but I'm like, we need to go to Bourbon Street. So I don't know why I wanted to go to Bourbon Street, and I kid you not, I was just about to step my foot on the Bourbon Street, and I felt like I was going to have a stroke. And that night, I ended
Oh
up
wow.
in two emergency rooms in New Orleans without family because I was on a work trip. And that started the process of going to the 18 different doctors. Some, cardiologists, physical therapists, acupuncturists, gynecologists, eye doctors because of the twitching. I went to everyone. Two world-renowned medical facilities. So that kind of started that. Well, that did launch that journey of trying to figure out what was going on. But because I wasn't aware, because I wasn't paying attention to my own body, I feel like a lot of I feel like this section of my life could have been avoided in a lot of ways
Okay.
because when I had that 2 years to sit there, I started thinking, oh, yeah, I did get rapid heartbeat when I ate XYZ. Or, oh, yeah, but from 2014 to 2017 was so much stress on my family. Like,
Yeah.
and I never processed it. I'm like, I'm cool. We'll take care of it, keep it moving kind of thing. So if I had have been more aware of what was going on, I don't think I would have gotten to that crash. And that day to day looked like I could not go in a big box store. I don't know what it was with the lights, but like a Target or a Walmart or something, I just could not go in. So my 70-plus-year-old mom had to take me to the grocery store. I went to work, but thank goodness I was the boss because by 2 o'clock every day, I'm like, deuces, I'm out, y'all. So I leaving work early. I would go to church and have to we darken the room in church, and we have like lights and smoke and all that other stuff. Um, I would have to wear dark glasses in church because all of those would be triggers
Wow.
on me and on my body. I spent a lot of time sitting on a couch every single day or in a corner when I came home. So it was a very, very devastating time. That's another reason I do the podcast because everyone can't, maybe afford coaching, or they need to
Yes.
make sure before they get into coaching that this is something for them. If you listen to the podcast and listen to the things that we talk about how you can become more aware and then what you need to do with that awareness. I didn't have access to that. So that's why I'm so adamant about educating women on their bodies so that they can take control and stay in control.
And I thank you for doing that, Stephanie. So what was there a protocol that you used to heal your body?
So prayer, like sometimes people are like, what's your step by step? I'm like, Jesus was my step by step.
Yes.
If I'm being completely honest, I did go through a long extended period of fasting and praying, but from the other perspective, I found a naturopath, and he ran a test on me. It was a urine analysis, non-invasive. I had been poked and prodded, one little simple test, and it told everything that was going on in my body. So the first thing I had to do was heal my gut, because I had tons of gut issues. And just if you have asthma, eczema, pretty much anything, you might have a gut issue. So I just want to say that. So I had to heal my gut, and that meant eating fresh whole fruits. I did not go out to eat for probably 3, 4, 5 months. I cooked at home. So the protocol was simply to eat good, healthy, nutritious food. And I had to take supplements, adaptogens, which are things that help your body adapt better to its environment. So between supplements, eating well, and doing very light exercise, that's how I healed my body. That was all it took. But food is the key. Food will kill
Okay.
you if you allow it to. So
And
yeah, those are the three things that I ended up doing.
and that's why you're on here today. You're in here today for me, but also for the listening audience, because I'm a woman of God. I'm a Christian, and I believe
Mhm.
that I believe that it's the truth you know and apply in your life that sets you free. There has got to
Yes.
be some kind of implementation or action plan that's towards that trajectory. I'm not playing with you. I'm really going to go ahead and book the appointment with you because
Yeah.
I'm interested in taking that test. I want to know where I am,
Mhm.
where I am. And I want to be around for my great grandkids. I want to be able to still run with them and talk to them and love on them. So in order for me
Yeah.
to do that, I need knowledge, period.
Yeah.
I need knowledge. So listening audience, thank you for bearing with us. We had a little bit of technical issues earlier, but that's okay. That's showing me that we really do need to get this information out. That
Mhm.
we, if there's some challenges on us getting it out. So if you have any issues concerning health, I recommend that you go ahead and sign up for the consult. And Stephanie, you're not somebody that didn't go through this on your own. You were really pretty much, I mean, like really ill, just
Yeah,
like
I was.
completely ill. Tried modern
Mhm.
medicine, it didn't work for you. And then I'm looking at you now, and you're healthy, beautiful and healthy.
Oh,
So
thank
this is something that that we all, some information that we all need, because I think that when you get older, you do really, like, hey, I can't have Twinkies and Snicker bars, and
right.
whenever I feel like it, or really I don't need them at all, to be honest with you. So we need to we need to learn and we need to apply. So thank you for sharing your story. um
Oh, you're
so
welcome.
um I wanted to ask you a couple other questions, if that's okay with you, and then we can end.
Sure.
Okay, so the first question is, people are listening. I can hear them say, how do I get in contact with her? What's her website? Can you share that for me?
Sure. You can go to hellohotflash.com. That's my website, and that'll give you access to me. Or you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Hello Hot Flash Podcast. And you can always go there and then just direct message me. And if you don't, write down the link, or you need to set up an appointment with me, I can always send that to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
And I got
welcome.
to be honest with you about this, Stephanie. I just went to the doctor last week, got my numbers. My numbers were too high in
Mhm.
January, and I've done what I needed to do in order to bring those numbers down. Thank God they're down
Yeah.
now, but I can do better. And when I went to the doctor last week, I felt really good because it's a new doctor and she really listened to me. She
Mhm.
really listened to me, right? But I've had doctors in the past that I would say things to them and they would just ignore me. And I didn't really stand up for myself or stand up for my health. So the question is, why do you think some women take so long to stand up for ourselves? For
Yeah.
really for what's best for us?
Yeah. I think there's an intimidation factor. So they're a doctor, so they must be smarter than me. So if they tell me that not to worry about it or whatever, they have the experience, but that is so not true. That's why I ended up at 18 different doctors because I'm like, I know my body. And that's what you have to walk in there and think, don't quote something you saw on WebMD because they'll probably dismiss you, but go in there knowing your body. And if you have a true concern, make sure that you make that person listen to you. And you're the customer. You're paying them money. Go find another doctor if they don't listen. But I say that with the caveat that physicians are burned out. They're stressed out. It's a numbers game for them. The government is requiring it to be a numbers game. So go in prepared as well. So when I would go in, even though they would transfer my records, I would have a copy of my records. I would highlight certain things. I had a food journal that I would take in and like, hey, do you see any triggers here or something that maybe I'm missing? So I went in over prepared, which made them pay attention to me. So be prepared when you go to the doctors. And please, if you have elderly parents, if you can at all, go to the doctor appointments with them too. I've found that the respect level isn't necessarily where it needs to be, especially I'll just say with my family, when the elderly parents go into the doctor. So advocate for yourself. You deserve it. You're worth it, and you know your body.
Thank you. I appreciate you on saying that about the elderly parents. My husband's mother lives in Los Angeles, and we have actually driven out there just to take her to several doctor's appointments. That's so important to me. And I believe it's just like having a child in school. If you show up to the parent teachers meeting, if you communicate with the teachers, your child is treated differently. So
Yes.
there's a tendency for people to love on you better if they know you care. So Stephanie,
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I want
Oh,
to
you're
thank you for your contribution that you're doing on your podcast. I did go and listen to some of your podcasts from the last time, and very educational, very informative. You're doing a great job on there. And listening audience, remember this is the Mucho Dinero TV show. This is where we educate, empower, and we promote other businesses on purpose. So if you like to come and be a part of the show, reach out to me, and and then we'll go through the process and we'll get you on the show. Okay. But Stephanie Shaw, thank you so much. And is there anything you would like to say in closing before we end?
No, just thank you once again for having me. And again, know your body and take care of yourself. You are worth it.
Amen. So you got to promise me that you're going to come back.
Oh, definitely. I love talking with you.
Okay. The same here. I felt like from the beginning, felt like we were already sisters anyway.
Connect. Yes, yes.
So, listening audience, this show has been so informative today. Be sure that you set up an appointment with Miss Stephanie Shaw. This, like I said, this has been such an informative show. Get educated so that we can have a better quality of life. That's exactly what I'm doing. I believe that life is supposed to be enjoyed. So, this is Dr. Tonya, and thank you for listening. See you the next time.